Simon, Chelsea went to Anfield last night on the train coming back from Cardiff. The consensus of opinion was, do you know what? It might end a point apiece. Chelsea might get a draw up there. They didn't. Liverpool swatted them aside and won by 4-1. And Pochettino had to admit afterwards, yeah, Liverpool, better in all areas.
Not too much to say. I think they were in all the areas better than us. I think it wasn't a good performance for us. I think too many, problems on the first half. And of course, after we can talk about some decisions that maybe not make me happy. But of course, that cannot justify that Liverpool deserve, the 3 points.
Chelsea came and went with a whimper, and they sit mid-table. We'll talk about them further down the line. The story really is Liverpool, Simon, I think. And when it boils down to it, with Pep in situ, will the Premier League remain on a more dominant path than before? Who is best to take up the cudgel as their greatest challengers post-Klopp? Because everything at the moment is post-Klopp when it comes to talking about Liverpool. Will Liverpool, regardless of who takes over, will Liverpool, after Jurgen departs, still be City's strongest challengers, do you think? Or will they fall off a cliff?
Well, that's a $64 million question, isn't it? I mean, that's what I wrote about in the Mail, was specifically about the decision. This is a decision that John Henry's got to make. And I don't think that historically they've made the greatest decisions with the band-aid that Kenny Dalglish came back into the club, but that wasn't successful. Brendan Rodgers, looked opportunity in the face and then turned it down, and then the club went backwards. And then Jurgen came in. And it took 3 years for Jurgen to get his head. And here we go. Now you've got a Liverpool side completely reflective of its manager. So now they're at that point again. And it's almost like that 2014 moment when Steven Gerrard slips and Liverpool's title slips away. If they make the wrong decisions and the wrong manager comes in, they could slip again. Look, Arteta is going to be given support and his side of building. Ange Postecoglou will have a season behind him. Pep Guardiola, we'll see what Manchester City do. They're going to have to recharge and re-energise. And at this moment in time, it's Liverpool's season to have. The Champions League could land back at Manchester City, but Liverpool could be on the cusp of something quite remarkable and leaving that as the legacy. I don't tend to worry about the monopoly situation because out of the runners and riders comes different opportunities. So the idea that Klopp is the only game in town that can challenge...
You say opportunities for whom? Opportunities
for any of the other clubs.
Yeah.
Whether that is Arsenal, whether that is Liverpool that will gain. The problem for me is with Liverpool, insofar as there is a problem, I don't worry for this season in the slightest because Klopp has assembled a group of players like Manchester United did in previous incarnations, like Guardiola does, that are self-starters. They just need to be pointed and directed every now and again, but most of the time they hold themselves to a higher set of standards. So the Virgil van Dijks, the Andy Robertsons, the people that are in the Liverpool dressing room that are capable of holding themselves and the other players to account will take care of any particular paralysis that might come over the leaving of Klopp this season.
Yeah.
There and afterwards it becomes a very key appointment that takes it forward. And the problem there is I really emphatically believe that this Liverpool side has been created in the image of Jurgen Klopp. It's an enigmatic side. It's a dynamic side. It's a feral side. It's a charismatic side. And that's all the traits that are specifically relatable to their manager. So they're going to need to look at that squad, given the fact he's assembled it and specifically reassembled it this season, and match it to the management. But I don't think that's going to be something they can't do. So I don't worry about Manchester City suddenly just being the only game in town. I think you'll see Tottenham be in a better position next time round. They won't be a side that can turn it on for 25 minutes, rip the bejesus out of a side, and then suddenly go back into being a little bit less ruthless. They'll learn from that. So I don't think that the Klopp era necessarily means, that's it. Everything now is about Pep Guardiola.
Right,
I think you'll see some other people emerge.
Yeah.
And Arsenal should be one of them because Arteta has to be in a situation now, as did Chelsea, irrespective of what Chelsea are doing this season. They're not going to go away. They're going to get better, whether that's with Pochettino or with somebody else.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that.
Yeah, because it's a marathon, not a sprint, this project. And as much as people like to micromanage things and turn it into instantaneous gratification, people didn't buy this football club for $2.5 billion for it to sit there. Whatever mistakes they've made, however much they've wasted at Chelsea, they will come.
I know, but Bully told us we're not here to hang around. We're not here to screw around.
But Bully's going to learn with his checkbook. And he's not here to screw about. And what he's doing is he's making mistakes. You show me somebody that's gone into a new business and hasn't made mistakes, and I'll show you somebody that never tried anything.
No, fair enough. Interestingly, before we hit the first break, Liverpool, Simon, in discussion with streaming services to broadcast a documentary chronicling Jurgen Klopp's final months at the club. Filming began in early December. My God, they kept that quiet, didn't they? And companies such as Disney are going to be asked to bid for what will be a multi-episode series to run at the end of the season. So Klopp's final days, I mean, it's a winner. Will you watch it?
Maybe. I mean, I was listening to rumours going around that one of the reasons was Klopp was leaving because he was unhappy about this documentary being put together and he was resistant to it. Now he's in part of it. Look, there's a place for this. Football has become Disneyfied. So the idea that you're actually getting real content, the idea that you're actually seeing the fly on the wall stuff.
Yeah.
There's two versions of football. There's the version that the media see, like the transfer deals, and then there's the reality of what happens behind the scenes. And with these documentaries, they have an audience. The All or Nothings with Tottenham and with Sunderland and whoever else, and Manchester City and Arsenal, give you an insight. This is cut from that same cloth. Whenever I look at them, I look at it and go, exit stage left.
You'll be watching it.
I promise you, it's not.
Well, I'll be watching it.
I might watch it because I think Klopp is such an interesting character.
Yeah, well, true.
But the actual
you
subject
matter.
one. I didn't because I've got this deep-seated hatred of Manchester City. Apparently,
yes. So the documentary on Jurgen Klopp, I would think there isn't a Liverpool fan in the land that won't watch that when that comes out. But how have they managed to keep it so quiet? I mean, filming began in early December. The hierarchy at Liverpool knew about Klopp's decision to leave at the end of the season in November. Then filming started reportedly in December, and then of course we know last Friday it all came out into the public domain.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.